Wake County Democrat Representative Grier Martin is here. You're also a veteran who served in Afghanistan, Iraq too.
Just Afghanistan.
That's enough,
so far.
for most people.
Absolutely.
But you look after veterans in North Carolina as best you can. This new bill you've got,
Right.
veteran commits a crime but has been diagnosed by the Veterans Administration as having PTSD. How does a judge take that in and weigh that medical condition against the crime the person committed in court?
Yeah, great question. The way our system is set up currently, judges, we have statutory sentencing guidelines, but judges are allowed, not required, but allowed to depart from those sentencing guidelines when sentencing someone who's been convicted of a crime. We've got mitigating factors now already based somewhat on mental illness. In fact, if you've got an honorable discharge from the military, that can be a mitigating factor. If the crime was committed under duress, that can also be a mitigating factor. So this bill would allow, again, not require, allow the judge to consider PTSD. It doesn't have to be diagnosed by the VA, it could be diagnosed by another healthcare provider potentially. And so the judge can weigh that if the veteran has PTSD that's connected to their service in a combat zone, the judge can look at that and decide whether he or she thinks it merits somewhat reducing the sentence that the judge gives to the veteran. Doesn't require that the judge have a medical degree and fully understand a diagnosis of PTSD. The judge can evaluate and see if the judge finds reliable the documentation of the veteran's PTSD and see if it merits reducing the sentence or not. Again, no requirement that the judge do
I don't
that.
think there's anyone out there you'll meet in the street. They know that our men and women are coming home and they've got problems. What's shell shock? It's war. You bring it home and you think about it a lot. But when they commit a crime based on PTSD and the sentence gets reduced because of that,
Right.
the void is still there, the medical need is still there. Does the veteran get off the hook in some way, according to your bill, or do you use the lack of prison time, for instance, to mandate treatment or some other approach to help this person get better and adjust to life back in the civilian world?
Right, and to be clear, what this bill could result in many, perhaps even most cases, is not an elimination of a prison sentence, but just a reduction, perhaps, in the prison sentence. It has a requirement in it, and I'm working with my Republican colleague, Representative Lee Zachary, on this, and he's a criminal attorney, so he knows a lot more about this sort of area of the law than I do. And he had a very helpful suggestion that we actually put a requirement in there that the veteran actually be seeking treatment for PTSD. That's a safeguard both for society, but it's also a benefit, I think, to the veteran, because it's a great incentive for the veteran to go about getting the treatment that they need.
I want to ask you just a general question about society. Legislation now looks back on those men and women who fought in Iraq and Afghanistan. There's still a lot of Vietnam veterans out there, and those guys then had a really tough time, and they didn't get treated well when they came home. What's different about 15 years ago and 35 years ago if you were in the military and you served in a war zone?
Right, a huge difference, and a huge difference now and just 15 years ago. Gosh, it's been...
People aren't running bills for Vietnam vets. They did, or maybe they did, but it seems like now the public wants veterans cared for in a different way.
I think it's a variety of things. They expect different care, and also we've got a greater understanding of what things like PTSD actually are. I think many folks even refer to it just as post-traumatic stress, not even PTSD, not post-traumatic stress disorder, because when you're exposed to the sort of things that you sometimes are in war, post-traumatic stress is the body's natural reaction to that. That's everything is in order if you're responding that way to things. So we just have a greater understanding about that this is about the causes of these sort of things, and we also have a greater understanding of the treatments that are available for it and its role in why some people behave the way that they do.
How would this apply to older veterans who've been out of the system for 35 or 40 years? That's one thing, you just came out of the service and were diagnosed. But for the guy who commits a crime, and yeah, you can tie it back to Vietnam or some other conflict. Right. How does that work under this bill?
It'll work just the same for a Vietnam veteran. Heck, if a Korean War veteran committed a crime, was convicted of a crime, it would apply to them also. If they are diagnosed with PTSD and did serve in a combat zone, the judge may consider that as a mitigating factor in the sentence.
Now, this may be separate from your legislation, probably is, but there are people, civilians who never serve in the military, who have traumatic experiences as children for which they never receive proper mental health care, maybe physical health care. That is PTSD, every bit as real as what you would experience in a war zone, and very traumatic.
Absolutely.
You don't get over that sometimes. What about those people who commit crimes when the past says they had a rough childhood?
Yeah, it's a great question. There is an existing law, provisions that allow judges to consider the mental state, to a certain extent, of the convicted criminal in deciding on the sentence. The good thing about this bill, though, is that for folks who have served our country, it gives specific authorization for the judge, if he or she chooses, to consider post-traumatic stress in a veteran who served in a combat zone as a mitigating
Reminder
factor.
then, they don't forget this.
Yeah, to make it absolutely clear that this option is there for a judge, that we as the General Assembly hope that the judge will consider this.
And just to simplify this for the kitchen table folks, mitigating factor is you can just take into consideration this soldier went to war and came home needing help, and they're getting that help,
Right.
but they made a mistake in their mental state. That,
Right.
Or committed a crime, I should say.
And within guidelines set by the General Assembly, the judge may
Okay.
choose to lower that sentence within certain parameters that are already in law.
I know sometimes we get deep in the weeds,
Right,
of policy
right,
and lawyer
right,
terms and
right.
all. But Representative Martin, thank you so much. Good to see your bill. It's going to be it's in committee this week, and we'll be following it. Thank you, sir.
Great. Thank you for your interest, Kelly.